only the reproductive cell. The sperm is the reproductive cell, and the ova is or oogonia or oocytes is female reproductive cell. In the first class, we are spermatogenesis. What is the spermatogenesis? That is the development of the male reproductive cell, that is called the sperm. Here is oogenesis, that is the female reproductive cell, that is called oocytes, secondary oocytes or ovum. Now in this class we are going to see about structure of ovum. Structure of ovum. That means in our previous class we are completing the release of Graafian follicles. In this diagram, Graafian follicle is released. In this diagram, Graafian follicles are released. These are all the blood vessels, primary, secondary, tertiary, tertiary follicles. They are called as the Graafian follicles. The Graafian follicles having inside there is a secondary oocytes. Oocytes is released. This oocytes is called as the ovum. Yes, that is oocytes. The structure of oocytes is here. The oocytes having 3 layers. The most important one, 3 layers. Inside, first one is the germinal vesicle. Inside the germinal vesicles, we have seen nucleus, and then the innermost layer is vitelline membrane. This middle layer is zona pellucida. The outermost layer is a corona radiata. This is the structure of ovum. Diagrammatic view of the human ovum, structure of ovum, right. Then, now we have see structure of ovum. What is the structure of the ovum? Now we have human egg. Human egg is non-clitoid. That means which egg is? The hen egg is contact to the earth. Whenever the egg is contact to the earth, they make the shell. That is called the clitoid cell. Clitoid egg. But a human ovum is not clitoid. Alecital means absence of yolk. Non-clitoid, that is not having any hard shell just like of the hen egg. Alecital, absence of the inside, absence of embryo, yolk, absence of embryo or yolk, and microscopic in nature. So we could not see naked eye. It is cytoplasm called ooplasm. Inside the ovum, they are called the ooplasm, contains a large nucleus called the germinal vesicles. Now we are seeing this germinal vesicle. The ovum is surrounded by 3 coverings: vitelline membrane, zona pellucida, corona radiata. The first diagram is we are discussing. Then, in between the membrane, vitelline membrane and zona pellucida is a narrow privileged space. There is one space. There is a space inside. This is the space. Ooplasm. This is the ooplasm. Here is the space or present. In these regions, vitelline membranes and the zona pellucida. Inside, in between the 2 layers, there is a space. Right. Now we are going to see the structure of ovum. Structure of ovum is we are completed. What will happen after completing the structure? The ovum is completed. The release of the Graafian follicles, what will happen? That is totally called the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycles What is the menstrual cycle? Menstrual phase, when the menstrual flow occurs and lasts for 3 to 5 days. Menstrual flow is due to the breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus. Yes, you know, one more point. The menopause paper trees, when you are attend to the age, that is the paper trees, and the menopause means at the except during the pregnancy period. Whole periods, in the women's whole periods except the pregnancy period at the edge of the year of the 40 50. A cycle even sorting from one menstrual period till next one is called the menstrual cycle, during which the cycle changes occurs in the endometrium every month. Cycle menstruation is an indicator of the normal reproductive phase. The menstrual cycle comprises 4: menstrual phase, follicular phase, and ovulatory phase, and the luteal phase. Now we are going to one more graph, isn't it? That is we can easily identify that. Then menstrual phase, how many days? How many days your menstrual phase? Yes, please. You observe FSH and LH secreted by the anterior pituitary. That is the most important one, anterior pituitary. First days, follicular stimulating hormones now you are completed. That is high, peak. After at the 14 days it will be reduced, but the luteinizing hormone is starting. It's okay. Second one is events in the ovaries. That means developing some of the follicles at the day of the 14th day, releasing the secondary oocyte, and it becomes corpus albicans. That is the second stage. 4 stages we are calling the menstrual cycle. First stage and the second stage. What will happen in the second stage? C. Ovarian hormones. What are called the ovarian hormones? Estrogen and progesterone. These 2 hormones are called as the ovarian hormone. Estrogen, the day first to up to 14 or 10th day. This will be 10th day or 14 days. The estrogen will be dominant. After that it will be automatically reduced. Yellow color. Then progesterone is dominant because of them. Suppose that is due to them the embryo is attached or implant in the uterus, so that the progesterone is developed. Then events in the endometrium of the uterus. What will happen? The 4th stage. What will occur in the 4th stage? First 1 to 5. Here the bleeding and the sloping menstruation, thickness of the endometrium. That is the more important point. At anywhere, the starting in the human uterus having thickness only 5 millimeter in the thickness. 5 millimeter thickness up to menopause. The thickness will be reduced. That is the normal one, I think. The thickness may vary. That means a slightly or very minute difference only accepted. The thickness, suppose that the endometrium is, the thickness is too much, that is causes some disease. Yes, the first 5 days the menstrual phase, then follicular phase, then luteal phase. Right. These are different of the 4 stages. Right. This is the menstrual phase. Second one is the follicular or proliferative phase. Follicular or proliferate phase. This follicular phase extends from the 5th day, 5th day of the cycle until the time of ovulation. What is the meaning for ovulation? The releasing of secondary oocyte. During this phase, the primary follicle in the ovary grows to become a fully mature Graafian follicle, and simultaneously endometrium regenerates through the proliferation. That is the most important one. After releasing of the Graafian follicle, some of the endometriums are losing. Endometrium is coming out, so that again the endometrium is regenerated through proliferation. proliferation, some was freshness, pressure. Again the endometrium, loss of the endometrium regenerated. That is called the proliferation. That means the freshness. These changes in the ovary and the uterus are induced by the secretion of gonadotropin. What are the two hormones of the gonadotropin? That is related to reproductive hormone is called the gonadotropin, FSH and LH. Male also having induced the FSH and LH, female also, which increase gradually during the follicular phase. First 14 days. It is simultaneously follicular development and secretion estrogen by the follicular cell. Estrogen not secreted by these. These two are only induced, but secreted, immediately secreted estrogen. That is called the estrogen. Where is it secreted? In the follicle cell. Primary, secondary, tertiary follicles are we have seen in the ovary. Estrogen is secreted in the ovary. Right. What is the meaning for the ovulatory phase? Both LH and FSH attain peak level in middle of the cycle about the 14th day. Maximum secretion LH during the mid cycle called the SH surge. Please. What is the meaning for at the peak? Peak of the LH only releasing the secondary oocyte. Indicates the ruptures of the Graafian follicle. That is the Graafian follicle should be ruptured. Then only the oocyte is coming out. Because the Graafian follicle is having some layer. So that the surge at the peak give the pressure. LH is give the pressure. Then only the Graafian follicle is released. Secondary oocyte from the ovary wall into peritoneal cavity. That means nothing but the peritoneal cavity releasing in the uterus. This process is called the ovulation. The release of the secondary oocyte or ovum is called the ovulation. Luteal phase or secretory phase. During luteal phase, the remaining part of the Graafian follicle is transformed into the transitory endocrine gland called the corpus luteum. At the last stage, Graafian follicle changed as a corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes a large amount of the progesterone, which is essential the maintenance of the endometrium. Right. Endometrium. That means refresh the endometrium. If fertilization takes place, it paves way for the implantation. Yes. Suppose the lady is a chances to get the fertilization, the ovum is implantation means, that means attached with the uterus. Of the fertilized ovum, the uterine walls secrete nutritious fluid in the uterus for the 40 years. That means you know very well the fluid is secreted because of luteinized hormones secreted the fluid. That is feed, give the food for 40 years. 40 years is embryo. So this phase is also called as the secretory phase. During pregnancy, all events of menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. Yes, at this end, what is menstruation? What is the pregnancy? Right. Suppose in the absence of fertilization, there is no chance of the fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates completely and leave a scar tissue called the corpus calcipans. That is, the scar means they permanently becoming scar in the in the uterus. It is also initiated the disintegration of the endometrium leading to menstruation, marking the next cycle. That is the menstrual cycle. That is today we are completing only the menstrual cycle. Suppose asking the various type of the questions may be asking. That is very simple. You please read this and observe the diagrams and read it well. What are the 4 stages of the menstrual cycle? What will happen during that stages? Right. Here is a polycystic ovary syndrome. That is one of the disease. How is affect the syndrome? The women in their years. Polycystic means many cysts. Many cysts. It refers to many partially formed follicles of the ovaries. We are seeing the ovaries. In the ovaries, there is so many follicles are present, but it is not become as a ovum, which contain an egg each, which contains an egg each, but they do not grow maturity to produce the egg that can be fertilized. The women with PCOS may experience irregular menstrual cycles. So many follicles, we are already discussing, thousands and millions of the follicles are present. But that is not properly coming out. Sometimes these follicles are stored in the uterus, that is, can be fertilized. Suppose the oocytes are becoming, it will be properly fertilized. There is no chance to fertilize. What will happen? Irregular menstrual cycles increased. The follicles are under the androgen. You please listen the word. What type of the hormone is androgen? The androgen level. That is the male hormones. Male hormones will be secreted. That is the chances to secrete the androgen. Excessive facial and body hair growth. Hirsutism. Sin. Obesity. Reduced fertility. And increase the risk of the diabetes. The treatment for PCOS include healthy lifestyle, weight loss, and targeted hormone therapy.